Research Foundation of India's member dignitary. I am Nikita Khandelwal again here and heartily welcome you all on behalf of Research Foundation of India, and it's 27th of June, second day of our training faculty development program. Innovative teaching and learning pedagogy with organized by Research Foundation of India and sponsored by World Virtual Conference Forum, Eklavya University, HERF, WFST, ARGA. So, the topic of our today's session is case study method for better teaching. And for this, Dr. Shresh Chabra will be with us with his valuable guidance. But before we start the session, I would like to share something about our today's subject expert. Dr. Shresh Chabra holds a PhD degree in labor welfare. He has a teaching experience of almost 21 years, wherein he taught at undergraduate, postgraduate, executive program, PhD, coursework level, and guided research project. Sir has present assignment. He is associated as associate professor with Delhi College Business School Indore and affiliate college of De Montfort University, UK. Sir has published in national and international journals, conference and dailies also. Sir is associated as reviewer with Global Journal of Labour, University of the Witwatersrand, South Africa, Web of Science, Journal of HRM, Science Publishing Group, New York, USA, Journal Press India, Case Focus Journal, UK, Common Ground Research Network, University of Illinois Research Park, USA, and International Management Conference, ASE, chairist. As member of editorial board, Sir is associated with Annals of Human Resource Management Research, Indonesia, International Journal of Science and Management Studies, Universal Journal of Business and Management, USA and International Journal of Academic Research and Development. Sir is working as a mentor with Startup India, a government of Indian platform for nurturing entrepreneurship, be Incubation Center backed by Government of Chhattisgarh and as coordinator Indore Zone Malwa Nivar Research Foundation of India and member of Asia Research News IFERP and INSC. Sir has been session chair in national and international conferences. Sir has conducted NDPs and IMA, MSME, State Electricity Board, police and other corporates as well. Even he is working with Rotary Club, Amateur Business School, EMG, SSM Trust, and Institute of Scholars have recognized his efforts and contributions also. So, Sir is having a really tremendous and wonderful achievements in his working career. Sir, I would like to welcome you on behalf of RFI. Welcome, sir. Now, platform is yours. Please hold it.
Thank you, Nikita ma'am. Thank you very much for your kind words. A very good afternoon and good evening to all my friends present over here. See, I take it more of it as an experiential learning rather than a so-called a development program, because I'm sure that as faculties we all use case studies. So probably I would like I would not get into theoretical part as to why we should use a case study or what are the benefits or things like that, because I'm sure that all my respected colleagues, faculty colleagues are here. So probably we are all well versed with this idea of uh, the basic idea of case study or case study usage, or when a case study should be used, something like that. Then what we would talk about today, this is my plan for the day. This is my plan for the day, largely that we would be discussing it more of a as an experiential sharing session, as I told you earlier also, as it would be more of an experiential sharing thing, that I would try and give you some pointers from my experience of dealing with case studies and case writing also. So both of this I would be talking about. since it's more of case study teaching, so I would be focusing more on that. But yes, towards the end, we would be talking something about being a reviewer, associated as a reviewer with case focus US also. So I would like to give you some idea, or some throw some light into my experiences as a reviewer and as a case author also. So am I audible to this end?
Yes, sir, you are completely audible.
Okay, thank you very much. So, should you have any doubts, any pointers to be added, things like that? I would not like to, okay, I can put it into full screen, ma'am, but Bhandari sir, but the only issue is that it goes haywire. That many a times it is complained that I would, for the benefit of all, if you don't mind, I would put this material on the group which is made for us. This is not my material, okay? It's
Okay,
collected
sir,
from
no
different
issues.
sources, so that would be ease for everyone, okay? So we can take on with the first idea. We understand this thing that specific in many subject areas wherein or in areas even where engineering or something like that, wherein prototypes are made, especially in social sciences and management related areas, economics and other stream of branches. We use case studies to to create an understanding in the students of a real life situation, okay? Or we, most important idea is that we want to uh, develop the critical thinking and the decision making ideas of the students. Obviously there are differences in case studies and in real life situation, because in real life situation many other variables are also known to you. It's not only that those given, the variables which are given are the limiting variables, but in a real life situation we know many variables. So hence, but it gives you a simulation type of an experience, that if you were a manager, if you would have to deal with such situations, what would you do, or what you are likely to do, okay? And that's how we try and develop a critical and thinking and decision making skills, primarily through a case study. uh, we understand that there can be different types of case studies, depending on the length, depending on the format of this thing, depending on the subject coverage. uh, ha- okay, let me put the first question. Have you used this video case study? Because rest, I'm sure you would
Yes,
you
sir.
would have used rest of the case studies as open, close-ended, case and caselets. It's based on the things. Then success, failures, functional area specific, then comprehensive, yeah, multifunctional case studies. I believe you might have used many of them. Yes. Specifically, say if you talk about this, if you are talking about a particular subject area, then you would use a functional specific area. If you are using if you are doing more of a strategic management type of a subject, then you would be using more of a multifunctional and comprehensive. Gitanjali ma'am, Gitali Chaudhary ma'am, you said that yes, you use a video case. So would you
Yes,
like to contribute, please?
yes, sir. Actually, I take some cases. For example, I will play in front of them for like Germany's or some countries uh, video, and that's available in YouTube. And then I make some questions, and after the completion of video, I give them some questions related to that case. That what happened with that country and why they failed or how they developed,
Okay.
and like that.
That's great. That's great. Soumya Gupta, you have raised your hand.
Uh, Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Sir, as you asked that whether we have used such type of case studies, yes, we use video case studies also in classes.
Great. Great.
We generally portray a case before them, a video maybe. Like I generally play Zerodha's case study or any case study which is related to my subject. And
Mm-hmm.
then we discuss the case, we discuss the questions and the potentials, the future prospects. And all.
That's great. That's great. That's great. So,
Hmm.
Rajani ma'am, I believe your mic is on. You would like to contribute something? Okay. That was by mistake. That would I have done. So that's the reason I said, being into teaching profession for so long, we have been using. Let me give you my um, experience into talking about case study like this. Specifically, when it comes to most of us are. Uh, or rather, students are. We want to use a Harvard-based case, or maybe another case which can be say it can be lengthy case. Now in the lengthy case, when we use a lengthy case, obviously its coverage is very good, but the problem is that uh, it's nobody reads it. Okay, most of the students would come empty handed, not reading the studies. So uh, ANCP, you have raised your hand.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So so say I was dealing at one point of time. I was dealing with a case study of in entrepreneurship. So I'm giving you right from that example as to how I have written. If you can see, written oblique video case. Okay. So I would give you an idea as to how I used this. Written plus video case types. So that was a long case study. It was into comparing this two. What should I say? It was into comparing these two businesses. If you would have heard them, Mitti Cool. Have you heard this name of the company? Comes from Gujarat. It makes you know refrigerators made out of earthenware, which are very suitable, especially for the rural India. Okay, so that was one case, and then it was compared vis-a-vis. It was compared against Godrej Chotupool. Okay, so both are eyeing the rural market. It's a small refrigerator types, or it can keep things cool. Not essentially a refrigerator, but it can keep things cool. So there was a comparison between these two, and then the students obviously then there were case learnings and things like that. So I'm not getting into the case detail as of now. But the point is that I'm trying to tell you is that, so students don't expect them to read these long case studies. Okay, now forget about case studies. People don't even read a longer WhatsApp message. Okay, someone would poke you in the group and say that, "Arey yaar, itne lambe message mat bheja kar yaar." Don't such lengthy messages on the group yaar. Who reads a long message? So that's the problem we would face as a teacher. So what essentially I did was that uh, there is a video which explains Chotukul, what exactly is a Chotukul, or and how it is trying to get positioned. Then I prepared a short and briefer notes from taking from the case study about the Mittikul. So, and then one video was shown to them, other was given to them as a case, and then the written comment was made. So that can be one of the ways to deal with a longer case studies, and probably that would interest to some of them. That would actually be stimulating them, that okay, you have seen this video and this is the write up which is given to you regarding, say, another company. So finer points regarding other companies. So how do you look into that? So you can experiment such type of written and video case type of things. So that would give students a very differential ideas. And at times I tell them stories with a very different type of a background. Okay, how you use a Bollywood or a Tollywood song as a case?
Never used, sir. I don't know.
Okay. Movies are generally used as many movies are or clippings from movies are used as case. Many professors do that. Probably you should also try and do at some point of time, pick up some movie and pick up some clips from that. And though it would be a tedious process, but pick up some clip from that and then put it as a case study. Soumya, ma'am, if you have got something to say,
Sir, I have a question to ask. Sorry to
please,
interrupt.
please.
But then, what type of subjects can we, like, in which type of subjects can we use such case studies?
Great. See, ma'am, if you don't mind, which background do you come from? Which subject background?
Sir, I am taking economics.
You're taking economics. Great. So, you know, Like say, okay, Dr. Rajesh Katre sir, you have got some question, I believe.
Rajesh Katare. I am from Sage University Indore. I also want not understand what is your real topic about teaching learning.
I'm really sorry.
What is your topic about in this PPT?
That is case study.
Case study of what?
Case study in general, using case study as a teaching method.
Okay, okay, okay. So, okay, thank you so much.
Shall I continue?
Please continue, sir.
Okay, so I hope. Okay, so answering back, Soumya ma'am. Okay, I have got some few more raised hands. Uh, Kusum ma'am, I believe you have also some question.
No, sir, I don't have any question, but I just wanted to share one thing that I had tried using case study from a movie, which is
Hmm.
Jolly LLB, because I'm from law fraternity.
Okay,
I'm a
okay.
faculty in law.
Hmm.
So this movie, actually, I just use some of the abstract parts of the same with
Yes.
regard to, and acknowledging the students about the fake counters and the legal system. So this is how I've actually used this technique.
That's great. That's great. So that's what I'm saying. Answering back, Soumya ma'am, your question, that you have to look it from a very different type of perspectives, that how things work, how things are not being done. And at times movie convey, you can pick up a documentary, you can pick up various sub ideas, various subjects onto it. And you can look it from a very different idea, that what exactly you want to convey, and in which topic does it make, like Kusum ma'am just told us that she has used some snippets from Jolly LLB to talk about some idea into law. So similarly you can also pick up maybe some documentary, maybe some ideas onto that thing, and then you can link it with those things. I generally avoid very documentary type of videos, which are which are which may sound very boring type of to the students. It may be painful actually. At times we also need to sit on the other side to realize that how painful things can become for us. Okay, so I generally do not prescribe, or I generally do not advocate too much of using of documentary type of things. But yes, other movies, other ideas, you can look forward to them. You can think that how, say, things uh, talk about how things go around, and how it would be connected onto my studies. By this saying, okay, uh, Nupur ma'am, you have raised your hand.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to give you an example because you were talking about the movies. So, for example, in case of organizational behavior, subjects like this, you easily get a lot of material on this. For example, if we are discussing leadership, then you can quote Munna Bhai MBBS as a
You can
example.
go take Lagan as an example in leadership. You can use any of the war or sports movie into leadership. Military leadership is one of the
Yes,
best type of leadership that is believed to be, because you have to take quick decisions. Okay,
very good, very right.
so
So I can say it's easier
absolutely
to
right.
get in those kinds of subjects. That's
Yes,
what I want.
absolutely. So thank you for your contribution. So that's what I believe, Soumya ma'am, we have answered your question. All participants put together.
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. So, at times there can be, you should also try such type of case study, which is mentioned in the last, that problem solution case study. That means you have got the problems presented in part one. To give the part one to the students, present them the problem, let them discuss about it, what problem solutions can be made or something like that, and then give them the part two. Okay, so this part two contains actual solution. Okay, see, I was exposed to this case study by one of the professors at IIM Kolkata, and I was undergoing a program of entrepreneurship training. So that's how, we were exposed to this idea of part one, part two type of case study. And believe me, it at times, if you can find such type of case studies of this part one, part two type of case studies, problem solution orientation case studies, that can actually, help students gauge that, okay, to what extent I was on a, I should say, on a right track types. Let me take you to another level of case studies, which is less tried, but you can eventually you can do that. You can bring a real life problem to the class. Okay, so you can bring a real life problem, like say, I give an example to talk about it. I'm associated with Startup India. So many a times, in during the mentor session, people ask us questions. Okay, like say, what should I do to raise funds? This is what my position of things is. That something like that. Say, for example, I'm giving you an example. So present this idea. If you are teaching this subject, so present this idea to the class, that there is a startup firm. This is the background of the firm, and if you want, you can put some, one or two slides, just to give them some pointers, and then talk to them that what this firm should do, to say, to raise the money. This is the present problem. So what they should do to raise the money. Let students talk back to you, and let them, let them come back to you saying that, okay, what exactly can be the solution types. So probably such type of things can be, this can be another way of dealing with the things. So I've dealt one or two cases in that thing, real life case situations, wherein these solutions which were given by the students were actually presented back to the company. Okay, that you can try this more, and let me tell, let me, come back onto this, that which solution worked for you. So they can give you feedback onto that. On an extreme of this case, as an extreme of level to this case, what you can do is that you can actually call the person in the class. Okay, but generally this happens in an executive program or something like that, but people, don't recognize him as an external authority, because then they would not, they won't be free in the class. Or maybe just, call him, and then discuss you discuss the thing, you lead the situation, let him listen to the entire situation, and then finally give his feedback onto that, what exactly he did, how did he came out of the problem, something like that. So this can be the extreme ways in which you can, or this can be different types of ways in which uh, a similar case or a same case situation can be presented with, obviously, see, remember, there are no yardsticks to follow. Always remember them. Okay, there are no yardsticks to follow, that this is what would be done in this way, or this subject would have only such type of case study. No, you can experiment different ways, you can figure out your own way of doing things, something that may be suitable for your class, something that would be more appealing to your students, something like that. So try different ways, try out different things. Don't, I would look out for this thing, that if you want to teach, say, for example, innovation, try something innovative in your own way. Okay, so try something very innovative in your own way. Don't look out for, the things which are being carried out for years and years altogether, so they become stale actually. Okay, so try a different case study on the same topic. Okay, so I would quickly take you through this things, that most importantly, please, my experience is that most of the students, or rather some of the students, take this case as that it is a time pass. Okay, then they take it as that, since teacher is not prepared with any lecture, so what you do, you take a case study. I'm really sorry to say this, but this is some feedback that I've actually got from some of the students, that since anytime the teacher we understand that teacher is distributing the case, that means we understand that it's not. No, don't do this. Make, if we don't follow, there may be colleges which may not follow a lesson plan type of a system, but give yourself students a brief of this thing, that okay, after this you would have a case discussion. Okay, so that is where this actually, the impact of the case would come in. If you want this case to have, connect it with the topic, so choose a case prior to you start up with the course, and you do things so that you can actually, you can actually what should I say, you can actually make it an impactful type of a thing. Okay, students actually go back and learn something. Some professors, I'm really again sorry, that they're more fascinated by, lengthy cases, Harvard cases. Okay, don't be fascinated by any type of cases. With due respect to everyone, don't be fascinated by any type of cases. Some student, some my colleagues, they are onto the view that no, we should promote more of Indian cases. It's not about Indian or Western or any such cases, or where the case origin. The primary idea is that what is the student learning. If the students don't learn, then it hardly matters that which origin you have chosen it from. Then it is a waste exercise. Okay, and uh, Soumya ma'am and Nupur ma'am, you have raised your hands. You want to contribute something?
Yes, sir. So, actually, I am taking innovation and design thinking in my college.
Great.
So, this is one subject which cannot be taught by theory. So
Absolutely.
here you need to have lots of cases, then only it makes an impact. So
Absolutely.
I just wanted to share that I had downloaded some. I mean, I discussed some Indian cases and some cases from Harvard also.
Mhm.
But I found one thing which was actually missing in the cases which I took from Harvard,
Hmm.
because see, the conditions in which the kind of innovation and design thinking which we need in Indian context is much different from what is there in the other countries, developed countries.
Agreed.
Here we need frugal innovation.
Actually, yes.
So so that is why, for example, the example you gave of matka cool,
Hmm.
that is one example which I start my class with,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
the innovations which we need should be such that they cater to the needs of. Similarly, like for example, this is one example which actually which is used for the masses.
Hmm. Hmm. True. So
But
that's what I was telling Rupur ma'am, that we need to take cases which actually which actually fits in, more like which actually talks in about our what should I say, it should serve the purpose. Okay, it's not about the case. Please remember this. It's not about the case. It's about the purpose which the case is targeted. So please make sure that, again, I would say the same thing. It's not about fixing something or the other thing, but it's about making the student understand things. Okay, it's not about creating fantasies in the class. It's about making student understand that what is or how it is to be dealt with. Okay, so obviously you would have different ideas onto that. How can a case study be discussed? Most of the students have got this idea as to what can be what should be the ideal length of the case. There is no ideal length of the case. Please understand this thing. Okay, uh, the case length is the one that that covers the essential things. That is what I believe. So there are exhibits given at the back. Many times some colleagues, they just forget about the exhibits and they deal with the case, and that's all. Exhibits are given in the case for a specific purpose. So please make students understand that what can be the specific purpose. What should be the time given for case preparation? It can be varied, and it depends on the cohort that you are dealing with, how sincere or how insincere your cohort is. And forget about sincerity or insincerity of the cohort. How much time is available with your your class. Okay, even at times people don't come prepared with the case. So it can be advisable. It's just advisable. You can, again, these are just as I told in my starting of the session, that this is just this is more of an experiential idea. You would have, you are all thoroughly experienced colleagues of mine, and but this is this is how I have done it, benefited from it, and hence I'm sharing it. Okay, so uh, I found I do it in rather two ways of dealing with it. One, usually, many of the times, usually it's what should I say? It's a group assignment. So what is okay? Radha ma'am has asked, can lifestyle of celebrities be taken as case study? I would answer this question. I would surely answer this question to you. So so coming back to what I was talking to you, that that many times I take, most of the times I take it as a group assignment. Why group assignment? Because at least you can make a pick and group, some sincere, some insincere types, or some sincere, some less sincere types, with due respect to all the students. Never forget that at few years earlier you were on the other side of the bench. Okay, so please measure that sincerity from that level, not from our level. Okay, so it's a profession, but for them it's just another way of dealing in the class. So keep that in mind. Don't disregard that thing, that they're going up kids. uh, they don't have that level of sincerity, so somehow higher sincerity, somehow low sincerity. That's the difference between the students. So my experience goes that make a thing with if you're actually giving them a bigger case study, or Harvard based case study, or something like that, or Ivy League case study, then give them a combination of this. Maybe that sincere, insincere, or sincere, less sincere, lot mix, so that at least you would have something to do with them. At times I also practice this thing, that I give them the time right in the class to study. Okay, my logic for this is that eventually, many times in life, you just get 5 minutes, 10 minutes to read the entire paper, and you have to present it to the management. It happens in real life. You are just handed over a paper, or you are just handed over certain things. Remember those school and college days of ours, wherein what we did, somebody would catch hold of us and he would ask me, "ये पढ़ के आया क्या? Have you read this question? Have you come prepared with this question?" And we were like, "ये question था क्या syllabus में?" And then give us some finer points. So he gives us some finer points in 2-3 minutes. We just put them in our minds. We go into the exam hall and the question appears there, and we are very happy that at least we are saved. That's what I'm saying. In real life situation, many a times in board meetings, and even in real life situation, my experience is that before the board meeting, you are just handed over a paper, and you don't get a leisure of time to read the entire thing before you present it to the board. No, most of the time it doesn't happen. You are given something distributed in the board meeting, some paper is distributed, and you have to read it then and there itself and make your remark. You are just given 5 minutes for that. So at times, no, that's what if you remember, I started off saying that case studies are simulation of real life situations. So explain this to your student, that this is the reason I want you to read it in the class. I am giving you only 5-7 minutes to read, and make it realistic. Please make it realistic. Okay, that this is how it happens. So at least they would develop something. Please remember one idea. This is what I have always carried with me. Every assignment, every case study, any assessment, largely, to the extent we can control it, should have an objective in behind it. It's not about the learning objective, or what you learned out of the subject. I'm really sorry, but nobody remembers it after 10 years, 20 years. What you remember is the life lesson. Okay, that how does this subject, or this case study, or this idea would help me in life. So probably you would be teaching them some of invaluable life lessons, if they actually get onto it, through many of the roles like this. Kavita ma'am, I would be taking your question. Give me a minute, please. Give me a minute. Let me complete this, and then I would take up your question. You have got a question, Kavita ma'am? Kavita ma'am?
Participants, you will all get the time to ask your queries after this lecture. So please have patience.
Okay. So, that's what I said. That, what exactly you can do with the case study is an immense understanding as to what you can do with a case study. So what should be your role in that, ideally? Okay. Many a times students, look, if I ask this question in the group, many people would say that you should be a facilitator, you should be, providing them help, you should be what you should be, enabling discussion, you should be asking thought-provoking questions and whatnot. You should be, giving them some dimensions to think about. You should be guiding them onto the thought process. Don't do this, please. Don't guide the thought process, please. Let it flow. That's how, at times, that's how we learn, every one of us. Okay. So if we are guided in a particular way, then we would be, more or less binded by that. Please understand this thing. So don't limit people by your understanding. And you must realize this thing, that every generation which is born next to us is superior. Okay. Many times I jokingly remarks this thing, that all kids which are born after 2000 are not kids. There are forefathers which are coming back to us, and look at them now. Look at this idea. Your forefather, your great grandparent is back in your home after 2000, and then you are trying to teach them. Don't do this. Okay. And what he would be carrying the same idea. Okay. That, come on, I'm your great grandfather, don't try to teach me off. Like how things are done. I'm packaged in a small way, but I'm not, I'm not dealing with it. So that's what I'm, that's a simple a joke. But remember this thing, that many a times kids ask you that if you would have been in this place, what you would have done. Have kids asked you this question? Have you ever dealt with such a question in a case wherein kids ask you that if you would have been in this case situation, what would have you done? Many times, kids, they actually stop thinking, and they would, they give up. That, please keep this and answer it. Okay. They're looking forward to an answer. What should you do? Okay, I give you a case study I give you a small case to think over, and then come back to you. Okay. Okay, I'm repeating the question. Now listen to this case situation very carefully, please. Okay. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir,
you're
you are.
audible.
Okay. I give you a case situation to answer this. There is a very popular leader. You can think about any leader, a social, a political, whomsoever. There is a very popular leader. Okay. He was conducting a rally in a remote place, and it's almost, almost the evening has set. The dark, the dark, it has set, and he's just to finish his rally, and he's shot in the heart. Okay, a bullet pierces his heart. He's rushed to the nearby hospital, because there are no, it's a small, very, very small type of place. So there are no bigger facilities, bigger arrangements, but there is no even time that he can be rushed to a nearest city hospital. So, to save his life, he's rushed to a nearest hospital. The only way that doctors can save him, the team of doctors can save him, is to go for a heart transplant, because, as I said, the bullet has pierced his heart. Doctors, and they have only, take it as they have only 12 hours for this, okay, to perform a heart surgery operation. So they need to find a perfect donor for this. They search it throughout the place, because he's a popular leader. So, things go around, they are searched and whatnot. But time is ticking out, and you don't find a perfect donor as of now. Okay. In all this search and all that, you have almost lost 4 to 5 hours. Okay. So that means you have lost, and it is as the time inches around, people have started, collecting outside the hospital. They are praying for his life and whatnot. The things have started happening. You have found that, somehow you get onto that thing, and you have found a donor, a perfect match. He is a homeless person who is admitted in your hospital uh, in the last week. So one thing is that he's homeless. There are no whereabouts of it. Okay. Second, he's uh, he anyways would not survive by next week. That's sure. That's for sure. And given that, he's the perfect donor. As a doctor, what would you do? Would you go for this heart transplant or would you not go for this heart transplant? Given the situation that if you do not do a heart transplant, the leader would die after 7 hours. This homeless person would die anyhow by, say, next Sunday. Okay, this coming Sunday. So you would lose both the men. If you do a heart transplant, then at least you would be able to save one, but at the cost of other. 3, if you, if you can think about any other option, you are welcome to do so. Okay. 4th, important situation, please understand, whatever you do would remain only in the hospital. It won't go out of the hospital ever. Okay. This is the case situation. I hope you have got the case situation.
Yes, sir, the answer has to be given keeping in mind the legal
Don't
framework.
jump onto, don't give me an answer now, Kusum ma'am. Don't give me an answer now.
Okay, all right.
Please wait. Okay.
Okay.
So you can think about the legality of in the case. You can think about ethics. You can think about medical ethics. You can think about everything. Okay. So you can think about many things in this case. Okay. And if actually, I might have taken 5 minutes to explain this case to you. If this case study would have been written, it would have been just half a page, not beyond half a page. Okay. My point telling you is that please don't be mesmerized with the length of the case. Okay. This case can provoke enough discussion. If I start discussion now, I'm sure that not less than 40 minutes we can have a discussion over there. Do you agree with it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's
Yes,
what I'm saying. That it's not, don't be into the idea that you should have a lengthy case, you should have done this, you should have do this, you should analyze this thing. Don't be mesmerized by that. Think about that, what exactly you want to convey through this case. Okay, this case I generally use when I teach ethics. So it is taught from an ethical perspective. Kusum ma'am, you can take this case from a medical legal perspective if you want, or anyone can take this case from other idea. Okay, provided that ideas or that angle or that information is present for the student in this case. So this
Yes,
is what
sir.
I was. Yes, please.
Yeah, actually, the similar kind of case is a part of our Indian Penal Code. We have a
Great.
Horton rule over here, actually, in which we read similar kind of circumstances which you have actually said. So this was a very thought-provoking kind of case because what you said, that ethical point of views are different and legal point of views are different. So even I really have lots of deliberations with the student on this particular such
Okay.
kind of facts, that
Yes.
you have stated.
So that's what I'm saying. That you have to look it from a very different perspective and provide that type of a required information. So say for example, I give you this thing. Okay. Ma'am, coming on to answer your question, that what can be probable type of sources. Okay. So generally books. Okay. I will give you a better idea onto if you can read the last idea. Okay. uh, Edited books. Okay, you can see nowadays 2 or 3 authors put together from, say, different places. You can actually come up with your own edited book. Say for example, you can make say many publishers are there which can charge you 10,000, 5,000, 15,000, depending on the different length of the books. They can charge you different money, and therein you can come up with actually a good collection of a case study book. Say for example, you divide it into 2 sections, 3 sections. Say I come from HR, somebody else is coming from marketing section, so we all put together and we all put together and we are trying to you know come up with a case collection studies. So we will limit the length of the pages, something, so we can put in many filters onto that thing and authors and actually publicize it through various media, social media and other medias. And I'm pretty sure you would find good cases written by people which are a part of this edited books. So you can actually do this. Plus, Obviously, you can create an educator account at Harvard Business School. You can look out for Indian case studies at case centers, ICMRs, Boston University Library. I've given you the link, so you can look into that thing. E-Gyan Coach Research. There are many institutes which offer you a free case study, which are available to you. And uh, I'm sorry. As of now, I'm not taking anyone's hand raised. Okay, you may have some comments to make or something like that. Please, please keep it to yourself, because that would disturb the link. And then towards the end, as Nikita ma'am said, towards the end, I would give you time, because I am just almost to complete onto that thing. So please keep that thing to you. It's my request to you. Okay. Uh, Ma'am, sir, you want to say something? Your mic is on.
Sir, I just want to know, what does HBS stands for?
Harvard Business School.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So, similarly, you can create that accounts, and you can actually do many things with this case researches. Okay, so there are many case studies or things which can offer you this thing. And if you remember, I wrote a last point as to what you can do with. You can write your own case study. So I would briefly briefly talk to you about this thing, that uh, what you can do with a case study, or how you can write a case study onto that. I'm not getting into the detail of this, because this session is not meant for that. But I would give you a brief idea or my own experience onto uh, what can be done in the case study. You might have gone through, say, various situations. You might have changed the job. You might have you can talk about leadership. But please remember, don't put in your biasness and your perception in the case. Say, for example, it's a proven idea that people join organizations, but then they leave their managers. Okay. But this does not mean that you can always blame the manager for your leaving the job. Please don't do that. Please don't paint the picture in something. Look out for a different idea. Look out for a different thing that you can look for. Look it from a very different perspective, a neutral perspective. I always, I have grown up with this belief that homegrown case studies are far better than something which is adopted from somewhere else. Okay. Like somebody was giving me an example of, how things are different from Nupur ma'am, if I'm not wrong. Nupur ma'am was giving me an example that, how, different is the US and Indian setup. I do agree with that. If you can bring out a case from a smaller country, from India, Venezuela, for example, or any other country, wherein you can talk about that thing, that how smaller countries have been able to implement such practices. So this can be a benchmark for us, that even we can do that, something like that. Okay. So you can collect secondary data, as ICMR things do. You can have your primary data method. You can do interviews with them. You can do something with them, or you can pick up a combination of it, and that's how you can make up a case study. So there are many hands raised. So I'm stopping for this as of the moment, and then if the time permits, I would conclude it. Else, I would just take up your questions. Yes, please. Carry on with your questions.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Sir, as we just stated the sources of the case studies, but then
Yes.
there are many sources that are not free. Like ICMR is not
Actually.
free.
So,
Then the
ma'am,
research
some of
materials
the
are not
case
free.
studies in some sources are free. Rest are all paid.
Yeah, because ICMR has really good case studies, but they are all paid.
Most of them are paid. Yes.
Yes. So, is there any other particular source which is as good as ICMR and it can give us some free case studies?
Ma'am, that's what I have listed onto this thing, that there can be endless list. I've just prepared a small list of it. There can be a long list of as to how and where you can figure out. There are many, even for that matter, Kellogg's also provides you many. Kellogg's Business School also provides you many case studies. There are other foreign universities which have written very good cases, shorter length cases on Indian context, on Indian subcontinent, continent. You can look forward to many case studies onto rural marketing in India and many things like that.
Mhm.
And even you can subscribe to their newsletters, and their newsletters also carry some of the case studies.
Okay. Okay, sir. That is all. Thank you.
Okay. So
So in the
yes,
HBS, what you were saying, educators copy you get from HBS.
yes,
There you get Ivy Leagues cases also.
yes.
So
Actually,
that
yes.
so they are also very
HBS is
good.
not only for Harvard cases, but it
Huh.
you get Ivy League also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But
Yeah.
sir, do we get case center cases free?
Not all of them are. Not all of them are.
That's what. And
Yes.
ResearchGate also. They're all chargeable.
So some of them are chargeable,
ResearchGate also.
ma'am. Some of them are, they are free to be downloaded types. That's what I said. Even for some that matter, some of the open sources journals, uh, they can provide you good cases.
Okay. So can you give some examples of these open source journals?
Open source journals, ma'am, many of them like I remember that IGMR and many other such journals. Many people publish their small caselets or case studies into them. To some of them, I am also reviewer. I believe they are again an open source. I believe Annals of Human Resources, they publish some case studies. Then mm, this US based wala wo jo hai, that is again, that's again into human resources, and they also publish free case studies. They publish also free, and they distribute it also free. So you can, just many times they just need a sign up. That's it. So you can create a particular account for just, to give them to these journals for signing up and downloading it from them. So they just want some data. That's it. But nothing,
Okay.
nothing particularly any privacy data. They don't need any privacy data. Yes,
So
mine,
you
sir.
were
Yes.
so were you telling about some Australian university?
No,
Right.
I was telling about US and UK based universities, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay. Thank
Uh,
you, sir.
yes, Mayank sir, you have raised your hand. You want to contribute something, or you want to ask something?
No, sir, I just got my answer. Thank you. I
Okay,
just want to ask what HBS actually.
okay, okay. Thank you. Then Jay Prakash sir has also raised the hand. Jay Prakash sir. Okay, Lakshmi ma'am, you have also raised your hand. Okay, I believe
So
it
might be by mistake, sir. You can
might
continue.
be by my mistake. It might have been raised. No, no issues. Anyone else? Any questions? Any further questions you would like to ask me?
No, sir.
Sir, one question. Sir, is there any proper or the best structure of a case study? Like, is there a structure of a case study?
Ma'am, you are talking about writing a case, or you are talking about
Judging a case study, like when we read a case study, how do we determine that it is a good case study or it is an average case study? So, what is the level of the case study? How
what
to
is the
judge?
criteria of that case? Great, thank you. Okay, there are two ways of judging this. What I have experienced. One, which source this it comes from. Like say the HPS won't publish any average type of case study. Generally, you won't find any average case study. They're very intense case studies. Okay, written over over a period of time, or they actually bring in issues for you. So that is point number one. Point number two, say Soumya ma'am, if I'm not wrong, you come from an economics background. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So say for example, you're talking about any macroeconomic problem of say inflation or in any macroeconomic problem. Then, as I told you, the first thing is source. The second thing is that what exactly the case study talks about. What issues does it raise? A case study which raises too many issues is, it's very confusing to for us also to deal, and for it presents a plethora of situations. I do not believe that this can be a good case study. A case study would generally remain focused on a central idea, and then it would spread its wings around this general idea. So if I'm talking about, say, recruitment, or if I'm talking about certain idea, then it would be, related to that thing. Okay, to the extent that I can go talking about that how as a brand, employee brand can help you recruit better. That is okay. I'm extending a little further. I'm stretching my things. That is okay. But a case study which has got too many issues, too many problems to take about, they have just included everything, they won't lead you anywhere, because then it would be, it becomes a hopeless case actually. Think about it in a practical situation. Think about it. If you go to a doctor, or if someone goes to a doctor, and multiple organ failures cases, what is the end result of multiple organ failure cases? You know that better. Okay.
Yeah.
So don't expect too much to be solved. Don't expect too much. If the organization has difficult problems, so since you talk about economics, you're well versed with economics of Sri Lanka, which has gone down. Pakistan is on the verge of getting down. Venezuela has also gone down. There are severe examples of many countries who are either struggling to come up or have went down. Things do not happen overnight in economics also, but
Yeah.
one thing leads to other. So what exactly, which direction you are talking about? Please talk in those directions. It may be international trade also, which might have influenced. It may be inflation also. It may be unemployment also. Agreed. These are all general causes which are listed. But if you are picking up a case study, pick it up with a certain objective and with certain focus. If you are talking about an entire failure, then probably such cases won't be, very happy to deal with.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
So I believe that's it. I don't feel there are other questions. Any other questions left? So thank you very much. It was pleasant talking to you,
Thank
and
you, sir.
it was good talking to you all.
Thank you, sir.
Whenever I get a chance to talk to my colleagues, I always feel happy in doing that. So just remember, it's not just sharing from one colleague to another colleague. That's it. So please don't take it as any type of a formal session or anything like that. It was just a sharing session. So so with every time I share something, I also feel enriched. I also feel I also get new ideas. I also collect new things, like uh, Kusum ma'am has given me an idea that as to how Jolly LLB can be used in law. Okay, so it's always uh, great to learn from colleagues as well. Nikita ma'am, over to you. Thank you very much once again. Thank you,
Okay,
everyone.
sir. My gratitude to you for all you have done, sir. I truly appreciate you and your time, sir, which you have spent helping us in this session. We enjoyed every minute of your lecture as well as your marvelous sense of humor. It was really a thoughtful and informative session, sir. Thank you so much. And thanks to
Thanks
all
to
the participants for being a good listener and to
Thanks to
asking
you, Nikita ma'am.
questions.
Thanks to you for conducting this session very well. And thanks to RFI, and specific thanks to Gunjan ma'am, Gunjan Shukla ma'am, who has taken your first session and who might be taking your last session as well. So thanks to her also. And obviously a big thank you to a dear friend of mine and a mentor, Ajay Jain sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you once again. Have a nice day ahead, sir.
Same. Good evening to everyone, and my many thanks to the entire team RFI, Saurabh sir, Gupta sir, everyone. So many thanks to everyone. And Nikita ma'am, once again, thank you for conducting this session so
Welcome,
beautifully.
sir. You're
Sir,
happy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Very knowledgeable FDP. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Chapra, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Tapas sir. Thank you.
Thanks to
Thank you,
all
sir.
the
Thank you.
participants
Thank you,
also.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, sir.